Hey everybody, Brad Greenfield here, and today we're going to be working in Excel 2013, and the topics we're going to cover in this video are going to be autofill, moving from cell to cell using the tab and shift buttons, or sorry, tab and enter buttons. And then we're also going to do some undo and redo and adding some comments to some of our data. So we're starting here with just a blank Excel spreadsheet, and we're just going to enter some information. I'm going to show you some autofill on a couple things here, and just starting out here in cell A1. And if I was to, let's say that I wanted to number some columns here in column, or put some numbers here in column A for whatever reason. So if I just entered 1 at the beginning, and then I mouse over the bottom right hand corner of this cell, you can see that my cursor in Excel starts off as a kind of a broad or a white cross here, and if I mouse over, we can see that becomes a plus sign. If I mouse over the edge of the cell, it becomes some directional crosshairs. But if I mouse over this bottom right corner, I get that that plus symbol. If I left click and drag that down, then that's going to put 1 in all of those rows there. And that's, I mean, that could work if you're trying to drag something down to fill, that needs to be a constant in a column. That's definitely one way that you could do that. But that's not what I want. So I'm going to go up to the top here and just click on the undo, and that'll get me back to where I started from. If I clicked undo again, it would even delete my first step. So I'm going to put a 1 back here in this cell, and then I'm going to put a 2. Now, it's obvious to Excel what I'm going to do. I'm going to number 1 through however many I need to go. So if I do a right click to highlight these first 2 cells, and then I go to the bottom right corner and I do a left click and drag down, we can see the little number there beside my cursor. As I'm dragging down, it's auto-filling, and I could go as far as I wanted to, but I'm going to stop here at 10. So it's auto-filled 1 through 10 without me having to enter those in the cell. So that's one way you could do it. Now I'm going to click undo again and undo one more time. Now let's say that I wanted to go, instead of going down the Excel spreadsheet, I wanted to go across it. So if I went into cell B1 and put 2 there, and again highlighted these 2 cells and moused over the bottom right corner of the last cell and did a left click and drag across, we can see that the same thing is going to happen. It is going to autofill those as far as I wanted to go, and I stopped at 10 there, but I could go all the way across the Excel spreadsheet if I wanted to do that. So I will click undo again to get back to a blank sheet here. So let's say that I was going to do days of the week. I could start off with Monday, and Excel is going to automatically recognize that I am doing days of the week, so I don't have to enter 2 items here. If I click right, or if I mouse over the bottom right corner, left click and drag down, it's recognizing that I'm wanting to do days of the week, or abbreviated days of the week, and I could drag down as far as I wanted, and it's just going to start over. When I get to the end of the week, it'll just start automatically back over with Monday and keep going. So again, if I click undo, I can go across the spreadsheet if I want to do it this way. So really quick and easy way to do that. Now that will also work. Let me click undo to get a blank sheet here again. I could do months if I wanted to. So let's say January. Okay, so now I could left click in the bottom right corner again and drag down, and Excel is going to automatically recognize that I'm wanting to do the months of the year. So again, I could go across the spreadsheet if I wanted to. So there's some really easy ways that we could drag, autofill some items there. Now let me undo to get a blank sheet again. Let's say that for whatever reason we need to increment. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, we needed to go 5, 10, 15, 20. And you could do this with any amount of increment that you wanted to, but I'm just going to type in 5 and then 10. And if I highlight these cells here, mouse over the bottom right corner, left click and drag down, it's going to recognize that I'm wanting to auto increment by 5. And again, we could do that across the sheet if I wanted to. So I'll put 10 here in cell B1. If I highlight these first 2, mouse over the bottom, drag it across. Again, it's going to auto increment for me. So that's a really easy way to fill the spreadsheet with stuff with content that you need to fill it. Now, let's say that this was let me go back here and just put some months in here. I'm going to start off with January. I'm going to mouse over to the bottom right corner, left click and drag across to get to I'll go ahead and go to December. Okay, so let's say that for the months I was going to enter some numbers. So one way that you could navigate from cell to cell here underneath my header row with all the months in it is I could click to move across, but sometimes you got both hands on the keyboard and you want to move across a little bit easier. So with my cell here, or my cell A2 highlighted, if I had some numbers, let's say I just wanted to enter some numbers in cell A2, now to move to cell B2, I could either click or press on the right arrow and that would move for me, and I could enter some more numbers. I could also do tab. As I tab across, tab will take me from cell to cell. Now if I do a shift plus tab, it'll move backwards. Okay, another thing that you want to that's really neat and easy way to get to cell that you want to go. If I hit the enter button, it's going to go down to the next row for me. So that tab and then shift tab will move you backwards and forwards. If I hit enter and I want to do a shift tab to go back to the A3 there to enter some information, I definitely could do that. So one last thing we want to cover here in this section is adding comments. So let's say we have an Excel spreadsheet, and to us this really makes sense, but maybe we've got a team of people that are working on this Excel spreadsheet and we need to make sure they understand what we're talking about. With cell A2 highlighted, I'm going to go into review, and we see here we have a comments section. So if I click on new comment, it's going to automatically recognize that I want to put this comment in the cell that I had highlighted. Here is a comment. Now there's a small red arrow or small red triangle in the upper right corner of cell A2 letting the user know that there is a comment there. Now when I mouse over cell A2, that comment becomes displayed so that the user can see what that comment is. Let's say that I had several comments, or let me just add another comment here so you can see. This is another comment. So now I have two comments there. If I wanted to show all of those comments, I could go into the Review tab and click on Show All Comments. Now we can see how that can get a little cumbersome, but if you did have a lot of comments spread out across a spreadsheet and you wanted to see what those comments were, you definitely could do that. You could also click on the Next button, and the Next button is going to cycle through all the comments that are listed in this Excel spreadsheet. Now because I'm after the row or the cells with the comments in them, Microsoft is saying we've reached the end of the workbook. Do you want to continue reviewing from the beginning? If I click OK and I cycle through the comments, then I can see those. I can click previous to go to the first one or next to go to the next one. I can delete a comment here. I can also edit a comment here. Now another way that we could edit a comment is if I click on cell B2 and I want to edit this comment, if I do a right click, I can click on edit comment, and that will give me a chance to edit this comment. So that's an easy way that you can add comments. So as you're working on an Excel spreadsheet, you can keep up with what you're doing, or if you have multiple people working on one Excel spreadsheet, you can leave comments so everybody's kind of up to speed on what's going on. So in this video we covered autofill, how to move from cell to cell with the shift and the enter button. We've also used the undo button several times. And if one of the things that we didn't cover was the redo. If I click on undo, let's say I click on undo several times. If there was something that I maybe went too far on the undo and I wanted to redo, if I click on the arrow or the redo arrow right beside the undo, it will actually redo a step. So undo will take me a step back, redo will take me a step forward. So, and we also added some comments in the cell. So that'll do it for this section. We'll be covering some more Excel 2013 in some future videos.